Day 2 of Varlamore, and I've been testing the best money makers in the new area to see which are the best, and here they are. First off, the new thieving market in the centre of the city, and wealthy citizens, which occasionally you can AFK thieve like we did back in Leagues, so I really want to see what this one's like. Now these require level 50 thieving, so fairly low level. That didn't take long. So this child is crying, and whilst this wealthy citizen is being a decent human being and comforting him, we've decided it's a perfect opportunity to rob him blind. I got my first keys, and I'll be testing these out as well later, where you can steal from people's houses. Just coming up to the 15-minute mark, and I'm getting 126,000 XP per hour. Now at high levels that's not very good, but at level 50 and probably up until maybe around level 65 where blackjacking gets above 200,000 XP per hour, it's almost as good as the other methods but far less sweaty. And I do love those 30 seconds where you can relax and get 20 or so pickpockets in and you just can't fail. In fact, I can see people fletching over here and then just doing that when it happens. I made just over 50,000 GP in 15 minutes once I opened these last pouches. The 200,000 per hour was pretty decent as well for the level required, and not bad for an Iron Man either. So I've just had a quick test so I'm not going in this completely blind, and there's 3 houses that you can steal from, but only one person is out at a time. So as soon as one of them comes back, another one leaves, and then you can rob that house, and so on. And whilst in here you can steal from a few different things like the chest, a jewellery box and so on, and if you get an arrow above one of the items, when you thieve that you can get a piece of jewellery, but most of the time you just get a few more valuables. So here's the owner coming back, and when that happens you have to leave through this window. The child nearby will also whistle if you got your sound on just to notify you, so you know when to get out. 15 minutes done, and I was only getting about 80,000 XP per hour, so hoping that the money is good at least when I turn these in. You exchange these valuables that I've been getting with this guy behind the bank and he pays you for them. 23k, well that is absolutely terrible, and only maybe 5,000 more in jewellery. So that doesn't really make much sense to me. You steal from wealthy citizens for 200,000 GP per hour, you get 126,000 XP at the same time, and as a reward these keys give you 100,000 GP and only 80,000 XP. So I'm not sure what I'm missing here, but I must be missing something surely. The lady of this shop, who is a cross between a chicken and Jack Grealish, will sell you various items including capes, which can be sold for a profit. I'm going to do the capes and the aprons because they all make a few hundred GP each, and the bank is right next to the shop, so it's going to be quite quick to do, and hopefully some decent money, but we'll find out. Because the other shops in this area we either have elsewhere already, or they pay a lot less than usual for your items if you try to sell to them. This is everything I bought in just 5 minutes, and I've spent less than 4,000 GP, so quite a cheap method, but I need to sell them on a G to work out the actual profit, just in case the area expansion has crashed these in any kind of way. Apart from one cape, they've all sold pretty quickly for a profit of just 50,000 GP. Not a lot of money, 600,000 GP per hour, but unfortunately that is the best shop in this area. A huge part of this update is the Hunter Guild and something called rumours. Similar to a Slayer task, you're assigned, you're asked to hunt a specific creature, and after a while you'll get a unique item from that creature that you take back to the Hunter Guild and give it to the person that told you about the rumour for a bag of rewards. So I wanted to test it out as to how profitable it was compared to the usual hunter methods. This is my first item, took 8 minutes, not too bad. First reward, got some Quetzal feed, that's the main one that I want, because they're worth a couple of 100,000 GP each at the minute, and people pay that much because they unlock the flight paths in this area, so they're quite sought after at the moment. Second reward, another Quetzal. It started off well, but I've been stuck on this task for 30 minutes now, and as you can see, I'm only getting 50,000 XP per hour. Now you do get a chunk of XP for handing in the rumours at the end, but it's only about 4,000, so even that isn't going to change the XP that much, especially when you think Black Chins is 300,000 XP per hour. Finally, I cried that one in. Another Quetzal, so I'm wondering if you actually get one of these in every single bag. Well, that was quite good timing, so I'm just going to manage to get 4 rumours in the 60 minutes. No Quetzal this time, sadly, so that answers that question. I'm just going to sell it all to see how much we've made. 565,000 GP in 1 hour, and this is day 2. So normally prices are inflated at this point and go down the longer content's out, so that doesn't bode too well for this. The Hunter Guild isn't setting the world on fire for me at the moment, but there are 2 things that I can't test, and they both relate to the antelope. This is a creature that you can catch with 91 Hunter, and according to a comment that I got before, you can make up to 2.5 million GP per hour, which is very decent. Also, if you've completed 50 rumours, you can cook the meat, but the difference in price between cooked and raw at the moment is only 500 GP. And since you can cook about 1200 things per hour, that means it's going to be about 600,000 GP profit. It is though some of the best healing food in the game, although sometimes players take a bit of a while to get used to the benefits and start using a new item. This food does heal more than any other food, and it gives you 14 points immediately and 12 points over time, so I think that's going to be huge in PvP eventually, and when they become popular, this may be a very good money maker. While skilling in Varlamore may have not been amazing so far, I still have hope for combat. Next I'm going to try the Perilous moons to see how many chests that you can get in just 1 hour. So there's 7 chests that I did in an hour. I think with practice you could get as many as 10, to be honest with you. A chest every 6 minutes seems pretty doable to me. I've sold all of the loot from the chest, sadly no uniques, but even still I made 492,000 GP. And you can do the dungeon completely for free because everything that you need is already in there. In fact, it's probably more efficient to do it that way. Now we don't have drop rates for uniques yet, but most are still over 1 mil each, and a few others are still 10 mil. So hopefully once that's released, you're going to know the exact amount per hour this is here, based on that. But I'd imagine for now, you could probably add in at least another 1 mil per hour for the uniques that you should get. At this point, I've been really underwhelmed by the lack of decent money makers this early into an expansion, but then I tried a really random method. In the Perilous Moons dungeon, there's a bunch of creatures that you can kill, and I tested all of them until I came to the Sulphur Nagua. These have almost no melee defense whatsoever, and although they're slightly weaker to crush, I don't remember ever missing a hit with the Fang. Although an Inquisitor's Mace or even a Rapier will be more DPS. These have a huge aggro radius so you can completely AFK them, and they have one high price drop, the Sulphur Blades that are currently worth 2 million GP. So I tested them for 1 hour to see how good they were. The XP rates here are very good, as you can imagine, with a creature with no defense, and I was getting 120,000 strength XP even without the best setup. However, whilst it is completely AFK, a lot of the drops are around 1000 GP each, and you kill them incredibly quickly. Meaning if you don't pick up those drops, you're going to lose a lot of the profit, but then if you do, it stops becoming AFK. I brought my own supplies, but again, it's in the dungeon, so you can very quickly make some supplies for free. And in 1 hour I killed 286, and the drop rate of the blades is 1 in 500, so you will get one on average in just under 2 hours. At the current prices, not including any of the loot, that will mean a profit of 1.1 million GP per hour. I know the price because I did get lucky here and got one, and it sold for 2.1 million GP. So far, despite a hunter guild and a new thieving area, the best thing I found in Varlamore is a simple way to AFK for over 1 mil per hour. But I have admittedly missed out a huge part, and what appears to be an incredible moneymaker. In fact, I did just 2 waves as a test and made over 200,000 GP in just 5 minutes, and the loot is progressive, meaning it's only going to get higher. So it's time to start the Colosseum and have a huge moneymaker for you in just a few days' time.